Okay, in this next video, we're going to take a little baby step in the direction of machine learning. So you can see on line 10 that we have pandas, so we're going to be doing some data frames. And I'm going to kind of page down here a little bit. Okay, so I did the same thing I did with the spot prices, except for the candlestick data, where we have a fetch all and we have a fetch candles. Now, I'm using Binance for the data source for a few different reasons. I'll kind of show you the Coinbase documentation for get product candles. You may recall from the previous video that the URL for the public information for Coinbase spot prices was V2. Now, they deprecated the product candles for V2 with Coinbase, so now it is V3. And it's not like too impactful. It wouldn't be too hard to code it. The annoying thing is where you have a start and an end. So I would have to calculate, well, I mean like the time interval I want to do. And it would have to be in a Unix timestamp form. So I mean, it wouldn't be too hard, but it would also be kind of an annoyance. And here's kind of the different granularity options. Now, what I did is this is a different version of kind of the same idea, and this will use CCXT to basically kind of jump the shark from that whole process. I won't have to figure that out myself. And what I did is I specified for the code to run 1 minute intervals. And what we're going to find out from the actual output is with Coinbase data, you can request 1 minute intervals, but you don't necessarily get it because reporting is based upon like ticks, like, if there's no price movement or if there's no volume, then they don't necessarily have accurate reporting, or I should not say accurate, they don't have consistent time intervals. So here's the output from that. And we can see DS means date time, and we can see there's 1 minute, there's 1 minute, there's 2 minutes, there's 5 minutes. Like the time difference is not consistent. If I were to send this into a time series algo, it would be like comparing apples and bowling balls. And you can see here too is another example of kind of inconsistent time interval gaps. And I mean, I can't complain too much, even though I like to hate on Coinbase API. I mean, the data's free, so they make the rules. Now, here's an example of one where it is consistent. You can see 1 minute intervals all the way through, and probably the higher volume would account for that. So, anyway, enough Coinbase API hating for at least now. We'll go back to the code here. So, another note. I did like the async, like I did with the spot prices. And if you look on line 78, so I'm in America, and one thing to note is Binance.us. If you're outside the US, then it would be Binance.com. So if I were to change this to .com, it would just throw out an error message like it's not the correct URL because I don't have a VPN saying I'm living somewhere else, basically. So for American data, it's Binance.us. And well, I'll just go ahead and run it just to kind of show that the runtime is pretty quick. When you use requests and get, then it will be pretty zippy, like that previous code I showed you from like CCXT Coinbase doing authenticated calls. It would take 20 or 30 seconds just to get the actual information. So I'll run this, and I think it will be about less than 3 seconds, something like that. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So even from yesterday, there's one more shared asset. I believe, Binance has 181, and Coinbase has it too. So no, there's 122 shared assets. And basically, I requested 1 hour intervals from the main. Actually, I'll go down to there. Okie dokie. So here is kind of the main area. Now what I'm doing is it's like a check. So get crypto. If there was an issue with getting the names, then it would return a 1. So as long as names does not equal 1, then we'll do the candles. And candles will also be stored in a dictionary. So that's why we have candles.keys, because all I need is a list of the keys, or a set of the keys, I should clarify. So as we kind of loop up here, I'll start with fetch all candles, and it's a pretty similar structure to the Coinbase spot prices. And there's more columns, definitely, with Binance over Coinbase. And they also have consistent reporting, which is great, because I definitely don't want to confuse machine learning algorithms or some time series if there's not enough consistent reporting, like neural profit. If it's not like, at least 70 something or 80 something % consistent, it just stops modeling. It'll just throw an error message. So that's pretty important. Now, not all of these are going to be used as features for the model. Like open time, I don't think that's important to me, at least, because I care about the close time. Moreover, like the ignore field, that's just like a binary switch of a 0 or 1. So I'm going to have to kind of filter down those features, I'll call them, but they're columns at this point because it's just a data frame. And we'll just run this one more time just to see if it's under 3 seconds. I think it will be. Let's check the runtime here. Yeah, a little below that. Okay. So now we're going to go up. Oh, there's one other thing I need to cover. So not all of these are going to be going from names to candles. Like right here, this is throwing out an error because there's no candles for USDT, for wrapped Bitcoin, for AMP, for REP. So it goes from 122 to 118 because we can see, yeah, there's 118 data frames that were processed. So naturally, I don't need to lock in the trade price of something that errored out at the second level out of 3. And it's not just that. So let's also look for old data. Yeah, so there you go. So spell, there are data frames, there are candle data for that, but it's not in 2023 anymore. So we'll just kind of keep looking here because I think there's a couple others. Yeah, Jasmy, that has old data. And HNT has old data. Yeah, spell, Jasmy, HNT. I think there was one other too. Yeah, I think Gall. Let me get down to the data frame there. Yeah, so Gall, they stopped reporting on the data frames with Binance on 8/7. So most likely it just got delisted, but you can still, it's not like they're going to, delete the data. So what I'm going to have to do is go through all of these like one by one and make sure that it is something I want to head over for technical analysis indicators. That'd probably be the next step. But the next video will probably only have a couple different lines of code, but it will be kind of a finalized list of all of the correct assets that we want to generate technical analysis indicators and then send for machine learning and eventually predictions and whatnot. But I think that's it for right now.